was trying to be mean. What we were hoping to show you guys was how quickly you can write this stuff down. How unfortunate it is that these are some of the things that we think we know about the other side. The biggest thing that we really care about is that youth build healthy relationships, right? That's what we care about. And we care about conflict resolution, but if there's gonna be conflict resolution, we gotta have some healthy relationships. And I'm excited to see what you guys do in your communities to help build healthy relationships there.
You just take one and pass it on. This is gonna need to go to sleep.
Less substance abuse, no more homelessness, and no more child abuse. Mine's getting rid of poverty, putting a stop to all types of child abuse, helping people start the healing process of drug abuse. You want to do something?
What may work for you may not work for me.
Absolutely.
But it's not exactly that. It makes sense.
Education about juggling.
So maybe you can also write down in words like how you can actually see that in your community, working together with the co-ops or whatever, to make sure that it's prevented.
In order to achieve this goal, to make this happen. Okay. So you might need to break this down a little bit more. Okay. Hanging out with friends, reading. You guys
I found day 2 to be actually quite rewarding. I was working with 2 youth from Fort McMurray, and the discussions got into, focused around racism, but what they were talking about was the issue that was important to them was homelessness, and the Aboriginal youth especially was very frustrated that when you talk about homelessness in the community, it's naturally assumed that when you're homeless, you're native. And she was really upset about that. And so they built a little community action plan about dealing with difference in their school, but also bringing homeless people from the community into the schools to build relationships with them.
It's called Break the Cycle. So really, the main focus is to stop the violence in children and teens. And to do that, you need to get to the root of the problem, which also involves substance abuse.
So hopefully if we were to get more groups within schools, and then out of the schools get workshops like this to get going, then it'll go into bigger, grow just a lot bigger to go over Alberta.
So what we need to do is we need to figure out how to get more kids to get involved, because at the youth center there's just this group of kids and they come in there every day and they have fun, they play Xbox and they play pool and go on the computer and everything.
One of the things within rural communities is there's a real lack of space for bringing youth together. There's not a lot, besides being in the school system, rural youth, you go home to your farm, you go home to town, there's not a lot of places for connection outside of the school. And if those relationships aren't good in the school, where are they going to have the opportunity to build those relationships again?
That's like the biggest problem. There's nothing to do at all. So kids will go smoke a joint or get drunk. So we try to keep them busy. I think the Friendship Center is a place where kids can come and just do whatever they want, and they don't have to worry about, what this kid thinks of them, or worry about, what they're gonna do tonight. So maybe we should go get drunk or anything like that. They can come here and they can hang out and they can do what they want. But I think what we need more of is things like this, educational activities and groups and workshops and stuff to really get kids involved with each other and different cliques, and just get everybody to interact with one another, not just your friend. We're no different, and there's nothing we can't do together. There's no reason we shouldn't all be
working together as a group and as a team.
You guys are wondering what the Sektau is? It's
the name of our friendship center in Peace River.
Yeah. Our vision is to get the community involved in helping us with the troubled youth. And we would probably get some funding so we actually can go on camping trips and do fun stuff. Actually, I guess it's, from what I hear, the action plan's going through pretty good. After I bring it to the Friendship Center, Youth Council peoples, and ever since I brought it to them, they kind of took the idea and took it to different various peoples to get the actual funding and whatnot for it.
The duties of the Youth Council is to try to get less alcohol and drugs from youth today, to try to give them activities and events that they can do instead of doing these bad habits.
People think that, because Peace River is a really small town and there isn't much activities to be done in Peace River, which I, for one, know because there isn't. People think that a way to have fun in Peace River is to do drugs and alcohol, and therefore.
And I think it's the only thing that they can do.
Youth Council meets here. Our elder visits usually run in this area. The elders will visit with the youth, and the youth have the opportunity to ask elders things about the past and what they did as youth. And
we've been bumping around a whole bunch of ideas. Our main one was we wanted to go and buy the sand store or rent or whatever. It's like a clothing store, but it's shut down now because it went out of business. But
and
it's a big space.
It's a big empty building that no one's currently using, and we want to turn that into, the youth can use that for events. We were thinking of getting a rock climbing wall in there to try to get the youth away from alcohol, drugs, bad habits.
Peace River doesn't have a lot for youth to do, so having kind of a one-stop shopping almost type of situation like this, it would just make it easier for youth to all come to one place and come together to do programs and to get away from all the drugs and the alcohol and the negative behaviors that there is in the small town because there's nothing to do.
Some of the youth are not always wanting to hang around with somebody just because of their different skin color or where they come from, which is mainly one of the biggest problems because everybody's human. Why not just accept somebody for who they are?
What I thought about the workshop, I'd have to say it was pretty brutal, and that they could have not made it so harsh towards us, and that we should have did more about it.
It was really it was a learning experience. You definitely learned a lot about other people and their opinions and their views and what they go through. And so it was kind of surprising to see that other people go through the exact same things as you do in a totally different place.
I think overall the youth program that we did was really rewarding in the sense that we really saw some heartfelt emotions, some real reflection within the youth. They really thought about how discrimination affects them, but also how they are embedded within that. And I think we built some relationships out of this. And if that's all that we can do at the end of the day is create and break down misperceptions and misunderstandings so that one person is able to have a relationship with another person that they normally wouldn't engage with, that to me is success.
There's always a reason for a stereotype, right? But unfortunately, due to ignorance, I would say, and due to just a lack of trying to understand and trying to know somebody or a group of people, we just get that stuck in our head. And that's the easy way out. It's a very easy way out. And so what we're trying to do with young people is saying, it's not an easy thing to do. You need to learn, you need to explore, you need to be able to get to know it. You need to deal with these differences instead of just sweep it under the carpet and have your stereotypes.